fam. Hope everybody's having a good night. Had a good, let's say Tuesday. Yeah, let's jump right into it and see what we had today. First off, I am pleasantly surprised by what happened today. We talked about this yesterday, but we said we needed a down day to kind of reset some things. And here's where it got interesting for me was yesterday, we had, we said we had to take this candle. We wanted to come down here and then reverse. And so I actually owe you an apology, right? Because I just completely just, I didn't say ignored. I was like, this fair value gap right here, which is a weekly fair value gap. I just kind of, dismissed it because I'm like, that's a pretty small one. We should blow right through that and come back down here to a much more robust one. But if you look at what happened, we came down to it. We had a huge down day, and we touched it, which there was a weekly sell side liquidity there as well. So you had some confluence there, and that thing just rocketed off of that. So my apologies. Our thought process was definitely correct, but just did a little bit of missed the again, to kind of dismiss that fair value gap, which ended up being pretty strong as far as causing a reversal. So, which was kind of neat to watch. It's always good. We talk about this in some of our groups of just how when you kind of know what's happening, how how it just gives you that feeling of, oh, they can't trick me today, right? But again, and honestly, I wasn't expecting. I knew we were going to come down there, but I just didn't expect us to get down there that fast. So pleasant surprise. I know we had CPI or PPI. One of those PIs was today. The other one's on Friday. Right now, honestly, kind of getting back into the groove. I'm just really doing scalps. So, the big moves I'm not as worried about. Like the scalp, come in, scalp, a couple of points with a couple of contracts, and I'm good for the day, right? So anyway, same thing happening. If you notice on NQ over here, we came down. We didn't have a fair value gap to get to, but we actually definitely got to this weekly sell side from last week, touched it, and then rejected back off of that. So weekly sell side definitely was strong. ES had confluence with the weekly fair value gap. Now, what will happen tomorrow? Not really sure. Like we could, come back down again. We could still do that, right? Or we continue to go up. I don't know. That's why we, that's why we play the game, so to speak. So anyway, so that's the higher level. Again, kind of if you played it right, you would have been very, very happy. But let's take it down to our normal 5 minutes. We can take a look and see what's going on here. I'll tell you, I had I think I had 3 trades today, and they were very, very simple trades, and they were basically counter trades because if you notice, we'll just use, let me go big. I did it on NQ, so let me use NQ for instance to show you kind of what I was talking about. All right, so let me make this. Let me expand out on NQ. Okay, so this is all NQ, and we'll look at ES. All right, so this is 5 minute on NQ. This was the PI drop, CPI, PPI, one of those two. I think it was CPI. I think PPI is on Friday, but I could be completely wrong. So I haven't looked at Forex Factory this week to even pay attention to it. But if you notice again, so we had this kind of movement coming down, but when we got into the DR setup, bearish fair value gap here, right? But we came back up into it, and we confirmed high on DR. Right now, DR and IDR are in the same spot, right? So not much difference there. And so we came up, confirmed, went up, got above the halfway point of this fair value gap. So knowing we're going to come back down this way, right, which is great because what we're expecting is that we would, that once we get down below, we can put our order here on the DR/IDR line and have a nice move up this way. Now, also, it's gone now because it's no longer valid, but there actually was a bullish fair value gap right here. So went down into it, and reject, came up back off of it. My order was on the point, was on the DR high. I could have put it on top of that fair value gap, but I had it on DR because, again, trying to follow my rules. And so, can't remember how many points this was, but it was a nice, nice scalp move there. Okay, so, so this is rinse and repeat time. Okay, so we get up here, we come back down below the DR again, same thing. Nice little push up, right? Scalp, another scalp. Okay, do it a third time. Comes down below again. Order here, nice little scalp. Okay, so in that less than an hour, 3 trades in, and again I'm scalping. I'm not trying to hold this for a long time, right? Because there's things against me. But again, I'm following the rules, right? So I have this this bearish fair value gap against me. I have a trend that's coming down, right? So for me to take trades going this way, again, following the DR rules, you can't sit in these for long, all right? You can see what happened after that. Once we got over here, we just started to continue that down move, okay? So even though this was where we took the trades, was almost like a consolidation area, all right? But there was enough movement in here for it to make sense for me to take those trades, right? And honestly, it was me putting the order on, setting my stop loss, setting my take profit, and just letting it play itself out. All right. Again, had very short stops. Now I am running multiple contracts, right? So basically, I'm doubling up every tick from that perspective. So still profitable. Not trying to break the bank right now. Just trying to get in, get my feet wet. Take some profit and go ahead and get back out. All right. So that was NQ. Now the rest of the day, honestly, I mean, like I said, I didn't really. Once we started doing this, we came down and we actually ended up being a false day here. Right. I thought we had a nice. I started watching it here because I thought, okay, we might have a nice, retirement setup, and you could have gotten a nice, probably 30 points off of that. Let's see, 600. Yeah, you probably could have got about a good 30 points off of that move. But you couldn't hold it all the way up here, right? So, I didn't get. I was busy today, but so I didn't really get a chance to mess around this .5 fib, which I normally would do. So it kind of kept me out of trouble by not being able to do that. But because I definitely would have not have. I would have fought that trend all day. I know me. But now, that is what it is. We confirmed we went down low here, so now we have a false day, and the rest of it is what it is. All right, so no biggie there. So a couple of points here. Now the big move, of course, again coming out of DR land, you could have, this move here is where the big money is, but again that's not our play, so we're sticking to our rules. All right, sometimes you get the big move, sometimes you get the small move. But you stick to your rules over, in the grand scheme of things, you always end up positive. All right, so that was NQ. Not going to spend too much time on ES because ES is kind of the same thing. And I'm going to say this again. I said it yesterday, and I'm going to tell you something that happened to me today. The first trade on NQ, my stop loss was set too small. Right, I think I had like a 20 or 30 tick stop loss. And by the time I put it on, I got picked up and blinked. It had taken out my stop. But I went right back into it and got back in and made it back, plus some, of course. So that's why I say the ES is much easier if you're not as comfortable with those big kind of risks, because it's just something that it still moves the same structurally. But it doesn't wick you out as much as NQ does, right? So if I look at today, not as much happening, on ES. Here we confirmed high here, retraced back down, so that's about 49.43. That goes up to about 49. Maybe 49.83, probably to about 49. Let's go 90. So that's the 7 points. So there's some stuff here that you could have gotten into, but again, then you see kind of the movement here, right? Now, why I say the difference is, if you think about it, right? If I have a 5 5-point stop loss on NQ, which is 20 points, there's no way I'm getting stopped out on these moves, right? I mean, that's 20 ticks. I'm not getting stopped out on those moves. Whereas on NQ, it wicks down enough, I'm gonna get stopped out or got stopped out. So again, this is a safer play, same structural play, just a little bit safer. All right. So if you're not willing to risk more than what you should, NQ is a little tough to play unless you're just in a solid, where it's just moving straight up or straight down. So anyway, guys, that's it. Hopefully this was helpful. Kind of not a fun day unless you were playing, unless you were a bear today, then you played the downside. You could have definitely had some fun today, but we are taking out, like I said yesterday, there's not much to the upside for us. There's actually nothing up there that's stopping us. All the action was to the downside, and today we actually saw that we were taking out, liquidity zones. We're doing all kind of things today that, again, that's where, the orders are sitting there, so they got to go get them. And so they went down and got them today, let all your friends in kind of day, right? So anyway, that's it, guys. Again, hope this was helpful. Like we always say, love on your loved ones. You never know when you won't be able to do it again. So take advantage of each and every opportunity. I appreciate you guys, and thanks for the welcome back, and we'll talk to you later.